Now that we've talked about all three major components of as far as blood cells go, let's talk about hemostasis. This is kind of an application process. Hemostasis is a medical term that means we are trying to stop blood flow. So there's three phases of it. The first one is squeeze. The second one is plug. And the third one is clot. So here, we're going to talk about this in more detail, but here's this from the book. It's on page 723 in the 4th edition. So here, there's our injury. I don't think anybody wants to be getting stabbed, but what happens here is this. Look at this one as an open blood vessel. Do you see how this one's more constricted? So the red blood cells can't go quite as fast. So this is the vascular spasm. Platelet plug. Here we start to plug the hole, and then we're going to clot. And so that's the process we're going to be talking about. So the first one, this is squeeze. So it's called a vascular spasm. Vasoconstriction. So the smooth muscle in the blood vessel contracts. So the vessel gets smaller. So this isn't just a one-time for a couple of seconds kind of thing. So it's going to reduce the loss of blood. This is going to last for like 20 to 30 minutes. Going to be most effective in the arteries because arteries have the most smooth muscle. So how can we get a vascular spasm? Well, we can have an injury to the blood vessel wall, which is kind of this stabbing picture again. Not sure how I feel about that. You can get it, there is the neural and muscular response. So that's what happens next. And then continues, or in lieu of, the chemicals that are released by damaged tissues. And also platelets that we're going to talk about shortly. Okay, so that's the first phase. The second phase is plug. And this is actually called a platelet plug. So when the blood vessel wall breaks, it exposes collagen fibers because of the, part of the elasticity involved though. So these collagen fibers cause platelets in the area to swell. So they're going to get sticky. That's kind of like how you have to think of it. They're going to get real sticky, and so they're going to stop, and it's almost like Velcro to these areas. Then, once these platelets that are stuck, they're going to release a chemical called thromboxane A2. That sounds weird, but write it down. It is important. You will need to know it. And so thromboxane A2 tells granules in the platelets, and they're going to release two things. First one, ADP. You've probably heard of ATP in, A&P1. So this is ADP, very similar. Its job is to attract more platelets. It also releases serotonin. Now, if you're thinking serotonin, isn't that something people are related to what people take for depression? Yes, but it does more than one thing. So in this case, in the part of hemostasis, serotonin increases vascular spasms. So the platelets get sticky, they start sticking to each other and the area. And so this platelet plug is an example of positive feedback. So you get more platelets release, more collagen fibers, stick to more platelets. Platelets release thromboxane, release ADP. So we get more platelets, and it just keeps, going on. And it would go on indefinitely, so that's also not necessarily good. So let's continue to talk about this. Now, platelets, they do not stick to healthy blood vessels, because wouldn't it be bad if we were walking around and we had platelets sticking? So that would be really bad. So instead, healthy endothelium, so lining of the blood vessels, they secrete what we call anti-coagulating chemicals. So this would be like prostacyclin and cyclic AMP. So what these do is they inhibit platelet aggregation, so they keep platelets from sticking. Now, when it's damaged, the platelets are going to stick to the collagen fibers. When it's healthy, we've got stuff that says keep passing on by. So it's like it forms this really smooth surface that nothing really wants to stick to. So the platelet plug can actually form really, really fast, minute or less. And so you don't really notice it, but over the course of the day, capillaries get, little holes, blood vessels get damaged. It's just normal wear and tear. And so a lot of times just making the platelet plug is going to be sufficient. However, if you have a larger tear or damage, it's going to require coagulation, which we're going to talk about soon.